Okay, revival is important for our generation, I think for two reasons. Number one, God isn't getting the glory that he should out of our church, out of the churches. I think of the church now in our generation similar to how Samson was in his baldness, grinding grain, going in circles, and the Philistines looking at them, making a mockery of Israel, and the name of the Lord was brought into disrepute. The world doesn't ask, like they once asked of Samson, what is the secret of your strength? God isn't getting his glory. When I read in Joel, that famous passage that talks about rending your hearts and not your garments, return to the Lord your God, for he is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and abounding in love, and he relents from sending calamity. And the question says, who knows? He may turn and have pity and leave behind a blessing. What are those blessings? Grain offerings and drink offerings for the Lord your God. In other words, the point is that we want to bring something to God. We want to glorify him. What do we have? That before this generation and the godlessness of this generation, no one is asking, what's the secret of your strength to the church? And the church isn't bringing anything to God in this generation. No drink offerings, no grain offerings to the Lord. And the other part of why it's important that there should be a revival in this generation is that every generation passes on to the next generation a legacy of the power of God. And if we do not, I think of our lives like a rock that is thrown into a river or a pond. It's gone. And all that's left is ripples. We're not trying to make history. We're trying to form eternity. And what we pass on to others, this is why Moses said, teach these things to your children, that they would know the works of the Lord, so that we can pass on things into eternity, make a difference in eternity. So for our generation, this is important, and for the sake of the glory of God, revival is important.